Imagine two couples waking up in the same city on the exact same Monday. The first couple earns a massive income. They work grueling hours, say yes to every extra shift, and yet they are completely drowning in overdue notices. They are exhausted, stressed, and falling behind. The second couple actually earns less money and works fewer hours. Yet, they are completely calm, with over $1 million sitting in an investment account they barely even check. Same city, same rising prices, two completely different lives. The gap between them isn't luck, and it's barely even about income. It comes down to 10 simple habits that automate wealth. The first couple trades their limited time directly for dollars. The second couple built a system, a second worker that never sleeps, never burns out, and never takes a day off. If you want to stop working harder and start living freer, here are the 10 quiet money habits you can copy starting this week. The wealth system, 10 habits that separate the tired from the free. Introduction, a tale of two Mondays. Imagine a bright, sunny Monday morning in the exact same city. Two different couples wake up, pour their morning coffee, and look at their phones. From the outside, their lives look almost identical. They shop at the same grocery stores, walk the same streets, and face the same rising prices. But their inner worlds could not be more different. The first couple is Nadia and Owen. They are good, hardworking people. In fact, they work longer hours than almost anyone they know. They never say no to an extra shift, and they are always rushing. Yet, despite their big paychecks, they live with a constant, heavy knot in their stomachs. Every month, their mailbox is filled with overdue notices. They are exhausted, stressed, and falling further behind. The second couple is Elise and Dominic. They actually earn less money than Nadia and Owen, and they work far fewer hours. Yet, they are completely calm. Sitting in a bank account they barely even check is more than $1 million. How is this possible? The gap between these two couples isn't luck, and it isn't about income. The answer feels almost insulting once you see it. Wealth is not about how hard you work. Nadia and Owen trade their precious time directly for dollars. The moment they stop working, the money stops arriving. They are trapped under a hard ceiling. Elise and Dominic broke out of that trap. They built a system, a second worker that never sleeps, never burns out, and never takes a day off. Their money works for them. When a giant investment company called Fidelity studied 5 million accounts over 10 years, they found something amazing. The calmest, most patient investors outperformed the active traders who were always buying and selling. And they did it by doing less. Building this freedom doesn't require a finance degree or a massive salary. It comes down to 10 simple habits that anyone can copy starting this week. Chapter 1. The magic of paying yourself first. When Elise and Dominic were starting out, they made the same mistake most people make. Elise would tell herself, "We will invest whatever money is left at the end of the month." But for 2 straight years, nothing was ever left. A surprise car repair, a friend's birthday, or a slightly larger grocery run would happen, and their paychecks would completely vanish. So, they changed exactly one thing. They set up an automatic transfer. Now, the very same morning their paychecks hit their account, a fixed amount of money instantly moves into their investments. It happens before they can see it, touch it, or talk themselves out of spending it. Within a single year, they were building wealth consistently for the first time in their lives. They didn't need to use willpower every month. The lesson: a goal depends on you being disciplined on your worst, most tired day, the exact day your discipline usually collapses. A system removes that human weakness entirely. They didn't start with a heroic amount of money. They started with a tiny slice of their paycheck they wouldn't even miss. You must build the pipe first, and worry about the volume of water flowing through it second. Chapter 2. The easiest free money on earth. Meet Corinne. She works in logistics. For years, her company offered a 401k match, meaning, if she saved a little money for retirement, the company would match it and give her free cash. She and her husband Felix ignored it because retirement felt like the distant future. Then, a coworker sat Corinne down and explain what she was doing. By ignoring the match, she was walking right past a guaranteed 100% return on her money. Her employer was trying to hand her a free raise, and she was silently saying, "No, thank you." In 2026, an employee can put up to $24,500 into a 401k. But you don't need to be rich to win this game. You only need to contribute enough to get the full company match. Think about it. A $5,000 yearly company match, left alone to grow for 30 years, turns into nearly $500,000. That is pure wealth created from money given to her for free. Corinne and Felix now treat that match as the absolute first bill they pay, ahead of everything else. Chapter 3. Buy the whole world and stand still. Elise is not a stock market expert, and she is proud of it. She doesn't try to guess which company will become rich tomorrow. Instead, she and Dominic do something delightfully boring. They buy a low-cost index fund. This is a single financial bucket that holds a tiny slice of the 500 largest companies in America. Over the last 100 years, this group of companies has returned an average of about 10% a year. It doesn't happen smoothly. Some years the market crashes hard, but over decades, it always recovers and grows. A famous study by J.P. Morgan found that while the market grew by 10%, the average everyday investor only made about 2.9% a year. Why? Because people get excited and buy when prices are high, and they get scared and sell when prices drop. They bleed their own money away through nervous energy. Elise and Dominic win by doing nothing. They never check their account because looking too often is the fastest way to talk yourself into a mistake. Plus, their simple fund charges almost zero fees, saving them hundreds of thousands of dollars over their lifetimes. Chapter 4. The Power of Time Over Money. Let's look at two different couples, Ren and Callum and Ivy and Desmond. Ren and Callum started investing just $300 a month when they were 25 years old. They had modest salaries and felt like the amount was too small to matter. Their friends, Ivy and Desmond, earned much more money but kept putting it off. They finally started saving that exact same $300 a month at age 35, just 10 years later. By the time both couples reach age 65, the result is shocking. Ren and Callum have close to $800,000. Ivy and Desmond have less than half of that amount. The only difference was time. Over 40 years, Ren and Callum only put in $144,000 of their own money. The market manufactured the other $600,000 through compound growth, like a snowball getting heavier the further it rolls down a hill. You can always earn more money, but you can never buy back time. Chapter 5. Building the Untouchable Cash Cushion. Josephine and Theo keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses parked in a separate savings account. They treat this money as totally untouchable. It isn't there to make them rich. It is there to protect them. When their car's transmission completely died last winter, there was no panic. They didn't put the repair on a high-interest credit card, and they didn't have to sell their investments. They simply took the cash from their cushion, fixed the car, and moved on with their week. Because it is 2026, the best high-yield savings accounts pay around 4% interest, while regular banks pay a tiny 0.38%. By keeping their $25,000 emergency fund in the right kind of account, Josephine and Theo earn an extra $900 a year for doing absolutely nothing. The money is safe, insured by the government, and ready for a rainy day. Chapter 6. The Legal Tax Loopholes. Corinne and Felix treat the government tax code like a coupon book. Their favorite coupon is the Roth account. In 2026, each of them can put up to $7,500 into a Roth account. The magic here is that every single dollar this account earns over their lifetime can be taken out completely tax-free. If they fill it up for 30 years, it can grow past $700,000, and the tax office cannot touch a single penny of it. They also use a health savings account, HSA. This is a special account where money goes in tax-free, grows tax-free, and comes out tax-free to pay for medical bills. In 2026, a family can put up to $8,750 into it. They follow a strict simple order for their money. First, get the free company match in the 401k. Second, fill up the tax-free Roth and HSA accounts. Third, put any extra money back into the 401k. Chapter 7. Defeating the silent trap of lifestyle creep. 3 years ago, Ingrid got a massive raise at work. Instead of buying a fancier apartment or upgrading her car, she and her husband Silas did something beautifully boring. They kept living exactly as they did before. They sent the entire amount of the raise straight into their investments. Their friends who got similar raises immediately spent the money on a more expensive lifestyle. A month later, those friends were deeply confused about why they still felt broke despite earning more. This is called lifestyle creep. It is the number one reason high-earning couples still live paycheck to paycheck. If you take a $500 a month raise and spend it on nicer dinners, in 25 years, all you have are memories. If you invest that same $500 a month, it grows into more than $400,000. Ingrid and Silas still enjoy their lives, but they choose their rewards on purpose, rather than letting their expenses automatically climb. Chapter 8. Why Idle Cash is Slowly Dying. Ingrid's grandmother used to keep her entire life savings in a plain checking account. She felt proud because her money was safe from the stock market. But it wasn't safe at all. It was shrinking in slow motion. With inflation rising around 3.3% in early 2026, and normal bank accounts paying next to nothing, cash left sitting still loses its purchasing power. The number on the bank statement stays the same, so the loss is invisible, but that money buys less and less every year. If you leave $50,000 in a basic checking account for 10 years during times of inflation, that money quietly bleeds down until it only buys what $30,000 buys today. Ingrid and Silas treat idle cash like a leak in a pipe. They plug it by putting their extra money to work in the market. Chapter 9. Planning for the Uncomfortable Truth. Josephine and Theo do something most couples avoid. They look at the hard truths of life. The reality is that in almost every relationship, one partner outlives the other. That surviving partner will have to fund many years of life completely alone. Studies show that a surviving spouse can face up to $165,000 in healthcare costs during retirement. Because they respect reality, Josephine and Theo save extra heavily during their peak working years. They also plan carefully around Social Security. Instead of taking their government retirement checks the moment they turn eligible, which locks in a permanently smaller monthly payment, they plan to wait a few years. This ensures the monthly check grows substantially larger, acting as an insurance policy for whichever partner lives longer. Chapter 10. True Wealth is Invisible. The couples who truly achieve financial freedom have a secret. They keep their wealth boring, quiet, and completely invisible. Elise and Dominic could easily afford luxury cars and designer clothes, but they choose not to buy them. True wealth doesn't show up as a loud logo on a luxury bag. True wealth shows up as options, time, and an unhurried, peaceful mind. The couples hustling the hardest to look rich are very often the ones carrying the most debt underneath. This brings us right back to the two couples from Monday morning. Nadia and Owen weren't struggling because they didn't work hard enough. They were struggling because their money had no system, no automation, and no protection. Elise and Dominic weren't winning because of luck. They simply ran these 10 habits so consistently that growing wealthy stopped being a hope and turned into basic math. If this feels overwhelming, you can start today with the simplest step possible, a U.S. Series I savings bond. In 2026, these safe government bonds pay around 4.4% interest, perfectly protecting your money from inflation without any risk of losing a single dollar. Turn your goals into systems, let your money work for you, and build a life that is truly calm and free. Final thoughts. The difference between struggling and winning isn't about running faster on the treadmill. It's about building a machine that runs for you. Nadia and Owen weren't failing because they lacked effort. They were failing because they relied on willpower instead of a system. Elise and Dominic won because they made wealth a matter of simple math. If all of this feels overwhelming, Just start with habit number 1 today. Set up that automatic transfer, even if it's just $20, and build the pipe first. If you want to learn how to master the quiet money moves that actually build freedom, take 1 second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We break down practical, real-world finance habits for couples every single week. Drop a comment below and let us know, which of these 10 habits are you going to automate first? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next concept.